So Surfshark continued to be on top of best VPN lists in the industry in 2020, and today I'm going to examine if Surfshark is still worth getting in 2021. I'm going to look over the good and the bad and check if this service may or may not be suitable for your needs. You'll find links to special deals and discounts that I could find for you guys in the description down below. So as per usual, kicking off this review, we're going to start by taking a look at Surfshark's privacy policy and jurisdiction. Now, I'm going to let Surfshark explain it in their own words. To maintain a perfect quality of our services and provide you with efficient support, we collect diagnostics information and monitor crash reports on our apps. The information we collect contain aggregated performance data, the frequency of use of our services, unsuccessful connection attempts, and other similar information. As you probably already understood, the data collected for diagnostic purposes does not contain uniquely identifiable information. They also explain in their privacy policy page how some information may include which pages visitors visit and how long visitors may stay on a particular page. Now, I wouldn't exactly call this a strict no-logs policy. While none of this information may be traceable back to the user or identifiable in the first place, it's still a stretch to call this a truly no-logs policy. Compared to Northern Express, Surfshark's privacy policy may be lacking behind in terms of the amount of information they collect, especially the vaguely worded other similar information and diagnostics that don't contain uniquely identifiable information. It's a little too vague for my taste, if I'm going to be honest. But, gotta give Surfshark credit where credit is due. They've never been breached and no user information has ever been leaked. And just like Express, they're located in the British Virgin Islands. So being outside the jurisdiction of the Five Nine and 14 Eyes Alliance, they're not obliged to answer to any government asking for information. And to support their privacy claim, German reliable independent audit firm Cure53 investigated the Chrome and Firefox extensions of Surfshark in November 2018 and essentially concluded that Surfshark are not exposed to any major issue, neither in the privacy nor in the more general security realms. So that's very good to hear. But having said that, we haven't seen another audit since then, and considering the times we're living in 2021, where more and more people are using the internet, we ought to see another audit to support and re-examine Surfshark's privacy and security claims, and not just investigate the browser extensions, but also the application itself. Now, enough about their privacy claims. Let's see how quick can Surfshark really be. For speed tests, keep in mind that results may vary depending on your internet speed, location, and the distance between you and the server you're connecting to. And any decrease in speed below the 10 to 20% threshold is considered very good. And if you have very fast internet, even a 50% decrease is acceptable. With that in mind, my initial download speed without a VPN is at 12.03 megabits per second for this speed test, and 0.85 megabits per second of upload speed. For the sake of time, I'm going to be measuring the percentages in terms of download speeds only. Now, having tested all of the available protocols using the same nearby country, which is Italy's Milan server, as well as the same server on Ookla, on the OpenVPN UDP protocol, I got a 6.7% decrease at 11.22 megabits per second. On the TCP protocol, the internet kept disconnecting, making it difficult to test, but TCP has generally been very unreliable in my experience in all VPNs, and there's no reason to use it over UDP really. ICAV2 only works on a handful of servers, and the Italian server was not one of them. But then again, these two are only meant to be used when nothing else is working, and most of the times, OpenVPN will be your go-to, and it is the best balance of speed and security. And on the ShadowSox protocol, which is to be used if you're living in a country with heavy censorship and restriction laws, I got a 40.2% decrease at 7.19 megabits per second. Granted, sometimes it may give you an error when connecting, in which case, just try connecting to another server and then reconnect to the desired server. I also noticed some fluctuations with the speed. There were times when it was giving me very high speeds, and other times when it was giving me half as much, so it's not very consistent, at least in my experience, unless I caught the servers on a very bad day. And finally, the WireGuard protocol, I got a 6.4% decrease at 11.25 megabits per second, proving to be the quickest protocol as it is marketed as such. And with that, I tested some much farther servers and I got a 6.1% decrease at 11.3 megabits per second on the Melbourne server and a 4.9% decrease on the Vancouver server at 11.44 megabits per second. So overall, if you're looking for speed, WireGuard is the way to go. If you're living in a censorship-heavy country, go with Shadowsocks, and if you want the best balance between security and speed, go with OpenVPN UDP. Surfshark is definitely fast enough for a VPN of its budget. For gaming, I noticed some inconsistencies with the ping, so I wouldn't exactly use Surfshark for gaming. However, you can use the WireGuard protocol for the lowest ping possible if you need to use a VPN while gaming. As for streaming and torrenting, all servers are optimized for such tasks, and I had no problems unblocking multiple Netflix libraries. In fact, Surfshark is one of the absolute best at unblocking Netflix libraries. It reliably unblocks over 10 Netflix libraries, and it will unblock each of them within less than a minute. And using the WireGuard protocol, you won't even get close to buffering at all. And in terms of torrenting, there are no problems with peer-to-peer activity at all. All servers are capable of supporting any torrenting activity. Just pick the one with the highest speeds using the speed test feature and you're good to go. Now getting into the security features of Surfshark, Surfshark uses the standard top-grade AES 256 encryption, RSA 2048 handshake, and HMAC SHA 256 data authentication, in addition to perfect forward secrecy, DNS leak blocking, a VPN kill switch which severs your connection should you disconnect from the VPN connection for any reason, WebRTC leak blocking, multi-hop, also known as double VPN, which gives you double the encryption by routing your connection through 2 servers rather than 1 at the cost of speed, and whitelister, which is known also as split tunneling, which lets you select which apps, websites, or IPs to bypass the VPN connection. Also CleanWeb, which is Surfshark's blocker of ads, trackers, and malware. Though it may not block all ads, it's not a bad option to keep that one on to avoid annoying pop-ups. As well as no borders mode or obfuscation, which is the technology that disguises your VPN traffic to make it look like ordinary internet browsing traffic, which means that even your ISP can't tell that you're using a VPN, which allows you to bypass internet restrictions such as the Great Firewall of China. Coupled with the Shadowsocks protocol, both make Surfshark a viable option for users that reside in countries with strict censorship laws. And finally, the 2 separate apps that you can use to further your own security measures, Surfshark Search and Surfshark Alert, which can be added to the initial Surfshark subscription for $0.99 a month. Search is a private search engine that acts as Surfshark's own incognito mode in order to surf the web with no ads, logs, or trackers. An alert is a smart tool that operates as a breach detection mechanism to alert you about personal information leaks, which allows you to change passwords and prevent any unnecessary damage before it happens. And of course, no data leaks were detected in the DNS leak tests that I made. And for the most impressive feature of all, Surfshark, to the best of my knowledge, is the only VPN that allows for unlimited devices to be secured with just 1 subscription. So it's ideal for big households or small companies looking for a cost-effective way to encrypt and secure their data. This is perhaps Surfshark's strongest selling point. Surfshark enjoys a fairly large network of over 3,200 servers in over 65 countries, which isn't the largest collection of servers, but they are spread out enough to give you multiple options regardless of your location, and they may be expanding in the future. Surfshark gives users the option to use static IPs, which some VPNs actually charge for. So if you ever want to go back to the same IP for whatever reason, you have that option in the application. Static IP addresses, for example, make it easier to use voice over IP for teleconferencing or other voice or video communications. So companies, for example, can make good use of that. In the server list section, the small v that you see some servers marked with refers to virtual servers. Virtual servers are VPN servers that are not at the location they claim to be. When connected to a virtual server, you could be virtually connected to one country while being physically connected to another. This allows Surfshark to cover more locations around the globe, though since both types of servers can be hosted on rented machines, it isn't clear if the actual servers are owned by Surfshark or not, which may pose a risk when it comes to absolute privacy. Though all of this doubt can be cleared with some transparency from Surfshark regarding the ownership of these servers. Though as of July 2020, Surfshark began to operate on a completely diskless RAM-only server network, which is a big improvement for security and privacy. What that means is that Data is erased with every machine reboot, and there is no physical drive in which data is stored in anymore. Surfshark operates on a multitude of devices, including gaming consoles and streaming devices, as well as Google Chrome and Firefox, with a very simple UI that makes it very easy to navigate. Though I definitely would appreciate it if the servers were more organized in terms of regions rather than having all locations under one list, but that's a little nitpick. Besides that, the UI is great and I appreciate the night mode option. Surfshark also has a 24-hour live chat support and are always ready to provide users with guides and video tutorials depending on the issue they may be having. If there's one thing I might criticize about Surfshark, it would only be the lack of transparency over the information they collect about users and the lack of independent audits, which can definitely boost their trust levels amongst users. They only had one audit back in 2018, and skipping 2019 and 2020 is not a very good look, especially when other VPNs like Express and Nord are not shying away from audit investigations. But besides that, there haven't been any reasons to doubt their security and privacy claims. Price-wise, I really doubt you can find any high-quality VPN with such a low price, taking into account all of the security and privacy benefits, on top of the reliability in unblocking Netflix libraries and the speed, and the fact that it works in countries with strict censorship. This is all nicely packaged into a 2-year plan that costs you $249 a month, $649 for the yearly plan, and $1295 for a single month. But obviously, the plan that you'll want to get here is the 2-year plan, which amounts to roughly $60. Absolutely great value for such a low price. I'll place a link in the description which will include the best coupons I could find so you guys can take advantage for any promotional offers for Surfshark. And as expected, they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee in case you'd no longer like to continue with the service during your first month, as well as a 7-day trial. So do I recommend Surfshark? Well, absolutely. If you're new to the VPN world and are looking for a budget-friendly option to test the waters, Surfshark is a great option for you. It's very easy to use, can secure as many devices as you want, great customer support, and has features that you can only get with the much more expensive VPNs for a fraction of the cost. So unless you're needing the fastest possible speeds or lowest possible latency for gaming, Surfshark is a VPN definitely worth getting. If you enjoyed this review or learned something new, please help us by liking and subscribing. It'll be great support to help keep this channel afloat, and if you have any suggestions, let us know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.